Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
All right, we here with the Carnivore King.
Told you not to say that.
What's your Chipotle bowl?
Today, we got 2 scoops of chicken, 1 scoop of steak.
So you can eat carnivore at Chipotle?
Yeah.
You just get a bowl of meat?
Yeah.
What'd they charge you?
This time it was like $8.95, but it's been upwards of around like $15 to $18.
It's a good deal.
Yeah.
For like, how much meat do you think that is?
Probably like 6 ounces, 8 ounces maybe.
What do you think the calories?
I'm hoping that's around 500 or 600, but at 2 scoops, assuming they're 4 ounces a scoop, which is like 140 to 160 calories, depending if it's steak or chicken. Steak's more, chicken's less.
So how long have you been on carnivore now?
Since February 4th.
So that's...
Which would be 3 months and 2 weeks.
And how much have you lost?
33 pounds.
What'd you start at?
230.
So 197?
Yeah.
That's today?
I woke up this morning, I was 197.
I gotta tell you, you look a lot smaller. You look younger.
Well, today I did shave and I used like this collagen like lotion on my face.
Ah.
So like I cheated there, but yeah, no, I definitely I noticed that my face doesn't look as fat. That was one thing that always bothered me when I was heavy. It was like my face gets puffy, like my neck. I always liked having a jawline and that like goes away, when you gain weight. And when it came back, I was like, oh, hell yeah.
So what are you eating on a daily basis? Like your whole day's food?
In the morning, between 7 and 9, I'm having like 4 or 6 strips of bacon or maybe sausage, like sausage links or something like that. And then between 11 and 1, I'll have a steak. And it's 8 ounces. It's an 8-ounce flat iron steak. And then when I get home from work, usually by like no later than, I don't like to eat past 8, but usually between like 5 or 6, I'm eating another either steak, a chicken, or a fish for dinner. And I don't really weigh it, but I do have a good size portions. But it could be 2 portions of steak. So it could be, if you call it a portion, 4 ounces. It could be 8 ounces, maybe even up to 10. But again, I don't weigh it so much because I don't eat anything else with it. So I'm not having like a salad or a starch or a carb or anything like that. It's just the steak. And then after that, I go nuts on my sugar-free Jell-O and whipped cream. And that's like my favorite. Like that's what I'm waiting for all day. I'm trying to get there. It's just sugar-free Jell-O and whipped cream.
So people found that pretty interesting, the dessert that you're eating. Tell me exactly what this is. You got like a very specific build.
It's, I get them at Winco. They're like little Jell-O cups, but not the name brand Jell-O, like the off-brand Jell-O at Winco. Because you can get there's a 12-pack for like $3.50 or something like that, like $3.80. Super cheap. Then, I'm not really measuring the Ready Whip either when I'm spraying it on there. It's like, just layer it.
Now, why Ready Whip?
Well, because it's what I have at work, and I take it from work. But it's also like calorically next to nothing, and it's 2 grams of fat, which is where the flavor comes from. And so you pretty much, I don't want to call it a free food, but I guess I call it a free food.
No sugar?
No sugar.
Because it's just made out of cream.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is just fat.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff's good too.
I know. I'll give myself a toot like throughout the day at work, just like toot, just like a little mouthful.
What do you think the worst part of the diet is?
It's so restrictive. It's a mentally hard diet. Diets are mentally hard because you got to pay attention to what you're eating, so it requires more mental attention. And especially when you're in a deficit intentionally, and you're trying to exclude certain foods like simple sugar. Simple sugar is in everything. It's in a lot of stuff. So it's really hard to get away from. And you see it every day, everywhere you go. Whether you're at the gas station or a bank or wherever, these things are around almost unconsciously. You constantly have to tell yourself no. That's the hardest part for me. Especially because I like sweet things. Like I love candy. I love ice cream. And I want to not feel bad about eating it. So I have to train myself differently the way I look at food. If you can find small outlets great. You found a way to cope, but
Like the Jell-O?
like the Jell-O, like you're going to be hungry. Like diet, when you're losing weight, you're going to be hungry. It sucks, but it comes with the territory. You've been full for so long. It's how you got where you are. And now you got to go the other way. And the opposite of full is hungry.
How did you end up putting on as much weight as you had?
Just not caring about what I'm eating and just like eating for pleasure. And that's a slippery slope. And I think it's really common that people like will choose eating for pleasure over eating for function. And and why wouldn't you? Like there's so many options that are really pleasurable to eat. Like ice cream. Who doesn't love ice cream? Or had a bowl or a bite and like, oh, that's really good. Yeah, I do that. And sometimes I don't want to stop doing it.
What was the first few days or maybe the first week of the diet like?
Hard as shit. You feel nauseous, you feel sick, you feel lightheaded, you feel just terrible, run down, tired, because you're not eating sugar anymore, and you're not eating carbs. So the first couple days, even a week, is just prepare to not feel so good. You're gonna hate it. All of the cravings flare up really bad. So like, and you're triggered by everything, a color. Yellow. Oh, Butterfinger. Butterfinger candy bar. So, yeah, it's just a lot of that's the hardest mental part of it. And then you get past that, and I don't want to say it like it magically gets better, but you do start to feel noticeably better within just around the first week. And that's good. Like, you don't feel as hungry, and then by the third week, you got some momentum, and you're starting to feel okay. Starting to navigate it. You've established the habits. And then by the third week, you've probably lost 10 pounds or 15 pounds. By the fifth week, you're almost at 20 pounds. And then, so you'll get a lot of weight loss quickly. And that's great. It's really encouraging, really helps keep you on track with the diet.
Do you ever have cheat meals?
Not until recently. My wife and I went to a movie, and one of the things I missed that came up when I started the diet was like, God, I miss in general, like going to a movie and having candy at the movie. Something about childhood, just a good time. And so we went to a movie last week, and I bought 2 boxes of Butterfinger candy bars, like little bite-sized ones. There's only like a handful of those things in there. And so I got 2, but they are pretty calorically high. There's like 470 calories in a box. So I was just like, I'm going to do it. I ate it before the movie started. Sat down, just mowed those things down. And it was good. And, I'm glad I did it.
So has the diet caused any interesting like body changes or?
Yes, lots of diet changes. Lots of body changes. You feel better physically. Like almost that like your muscles feel better because you're giving them the fuel that they need. Then there's the digestive change that happens because protein is like, and meat in general is a pretty interesting thing for your body to digest. And the process is pretty simple and short and it flows right through you. So like I would eat and then like 20 minutes later or 30 minutes later, the intense urge to take a shit would wash over me. And it just like, there's no fiber. So there's nothing solid going through there. Like protein doesn't really like bind up into anything and turn into like a solid mass. It just flows out. And I found it didn't matter what kind of meat it was that was happening. And, not fun.
For anyone that's unclear, you are shitting water.
Yeah, just hot water. And it burns sometimes.
Like you don't poop anymore. You poop brown water.
In the beginning, yeah. Yeah. For the first like 3 months, yes. It was
awesome or horrible?
Horrible.
Because it doesn't sound that bad.
It's not fun. Like there's like
I had a colonoscopy once and I like pooped water for a day. It's kind of nice.
I mean, yeah, it isn't the worst thing in the world. It's just like, it's just one of those uncomfortable facts that kind of come along with it.
Do you snack at all?
I try not to. I prefer to sit down and like have a bigger meal to feel a little bit more satiated than to just kind of snack on things throughout the day. Because then you never feel satisfied that way. Some people like doing it. I'm just not one of them.
You had said that you sometimes eat like cheese slices in the middle of the day, or you have a can of, was it oysters?
Swiss cheese was something that I always had in the diet since I started. I'd usually have like 2 to 3 slices of Swiss cheese, like little Kraft Swiss cheese. I want to say like they're 60 calories a slice. And then smoked oysters. Little cans of smoked oysters are 110 calories, 18 grams of protein, 1.5 grams of fat, and there's 4 carbs in it. And it's not sugars, it's like a carb byproduct of the creature. But there's just one of those things. I grew up eating them and I like them, and I was like, oh, like, these will fit real easily in there. So yeah, it was just a perfect little snack, like in between, like when I get home from work, I'd have one of those before dinner.
So for people that want to start carnivore, but right now they're just eating like a normal diet, whatever they want, and they're going to switch to all meat, how do they actually prepare for that so that they will always have meat available throughout the day when they're at home, when they're at work, for snacks?
I would say go to the store, buy a bunch of chicken thighs, and buy a bunch of steak that you like. And you can have pork products, ham, bacon, sausage, sure. Fish as well. Get a fish in there. Salmon, like there isn't really a protein that's a meat that's off limits there. So however you like it, however you can get it, there you go. Do it. And just make sure you have enough of it.
And if someone's out of the house for a long time and they don't have access to meat, like where can they go to a store or restaurant?
Yeah, on the go. Yeah, it's tough. You can have eggs.
Can you have yogurt?
You can have like really plain Greek yogurt.
So you could stop at the store and get like any tub of plain yogurt.
You could.
I like plain yogurt, but I get why some people don't.
I don't
So what I do actually is I'll take plain yogurt and I'll put a bunch of cinnamon in it and mix it up. It gives it a lot of flavor, and somehow the cinnamon cuts out the tartness.
I wonder if you could put like vanilla extract in that.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Help the flavor.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you just put some drops of that.
Little cinnamon and vanilla extract. Sounds actually kind of good.
Absolutely.
Beef jerky, I suppose, is a nice little on the go.
I mean, you go to Chipotle sometimes.
Yeah, you go to Chipotle.
You can just get a bowl of meat at Chipotle.
Yeah, any one of those restaurants like where you can just go, like that's kind of fast food, like Chipotle or Subway, and get those things on the side. Like I imagine if you walked into a Subway and you're just like, hey, can I get like one of those chicken breast things, like throw a piece of cheese on it and put it in the microwave and charge me whatever. Like I'm sure that somebody like, all right, sure, here's a side of chicken or a side of whatever.
And a lot of fast food restaurants, they serve like a grilled chicken sandwich.
Yeah, most fast food places have like figured out a way to accommodate to diets. Even McDonald's. Like I remember in middle school and high school back in the 90s, you could go get a double burger and have it lettuce wrapped.
Oh yeah, when I go to In-N-Out when I'm in California, we got them some in Oregon now too. I would get like on the menu, they got the cheeseburger, they got the double, but then they got the 3x3 and the 4x4 that's off menu, but they serve it. So it's 3 patties, 3 cheese, 4 patties, 4 cheese. I would get that wrapped in lettuce. I loved it. Like,
yeah, if you're just clear about what you want and you got the discipline to like do that and like, okay, I'll get the double cheeseburger and then toss the bread. Yeah, totally. Do it. If you can do it. But that's the hard part, is mentally like having the discipline to do it. I mean, so when I first started the diet, like by the 3rd week, we went out to dinner to Texas Roadhouse, and I love their rolls and I love their butter. And I had to just sit there with one and smell it for like 15 minutes while I watched my wife eat it. It was really hard. Like I wanted it so bad. And I just kind of got past that first week, and I was staying strong on the diet. And I just remember thinking, like, if I'm going to eat it now, like, there's going to be no consistency in this diet, and I'm going to constantly be trying to catch up and get back on track. So I was like, okay. And I kind of pulled a trick from Mark Wahlberg where he had to lose a bunch of weight, and he would sit at a restaurant and just smell food for a while. And like, you know, I remember seeing an article about how that was him and his wife got into it or something like that. I don't know exactly, but he just sat and would smell food. So I just started doing that. And I was like, if he can do it, there's got to be something to it. And so and it was kind of satisfying. Like, it hits the same nerves. It hits the same kind of center of the brain without having to like eat it.
So what's the one food you want to eat the most?
I walked by a tube of cookie dough at Winco today, and I thought, oh, I want it so bad. I wanted to buy it. I don't know when I'm going to have my next like cheat meal or treat meal or cheat day or whatever, but I wanted it just in case, like for whenever that day came. And then what I know the next time it's going to be when we do the Cold Stone episode. I want that to be in the next 2 weeks, because my next cheat meal should be, I'm trying to do it once a month. Like, that's kind of where I want to be. Like, once a month I can have my cheat day. And I think that would allow me to, you know, keep my weight. Because it took so May 4th was my birthday, and that was my cheat day. And I gained like 6 pounds from that. Like, just like in the next like 3 days after I was done, like all this weight kind of settled, and it would like turned out to be like 6 pounds, which from 196, it was like 202. So, or something like that. Yeah, 202. But then it came off. Like, as the diet got more regulated, it was like, okay, we're back on track. We're back down at 197. So, seems like once a month should be just fine.
I think we can make that happen soon, because we go way back with Cold Stone.
Oh, big time.
Way back.
And just ice cream in general. You know, pints at Safeway. Back when they'd have those 2-for deals.
Safeway's got the best deals on ice cream.
Ben and Jerry's 2-fers. Oh.
I used to get 2 pints of Ben and Jerry's, and then do a 180, and the knockoff Girl Scout cookies were right there. I'd get like the knockoff Samoas, or like the Caramel Delights.
Oh, yeah.
I'd use those as a spoon.
There you go.
And eat 2 pints, and then just feel just absolutely wrecked. You know something that I used to do when I used to diet really hard is, and I still do this actually because I find it fun, every time I go to the grocery store, and I'm usually at the grocery store like 4 times a week. I just go pretty often because I love the grocery store, is I always stop by the ice cream aisle, and I stand at the ice cream, and I just like look at it, I check it out, and I almost never buy it, but it's fun though. Like, and
you want to build the tension of when you do buy it. You know, you're like, not necessarily like build it up. Like the experience of eating is going to be great, but like, you know, like you build the anticipation a bit so that it's more satisfying.
I'm pumped for the Cold Stone though, because when I was in California a few weeks ago, I went there with my nieces, and I had not been to a Cold Stone in at least a decade, like maybe 15 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is probably going to be so mid, but we got like these special creations that they serve, and dude, they were bomb. Yeah. All of them. I got this one. It's like peanut butter ice cream with peanut butter in it and Butterfinger pieces. Oh, dude,
damn.
I could not believe it. It might have been the best ice cream I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I was like, we got to make a return.
I've never been disappointed by Cold Stone ever. I think the last time I had it was Disneyland a couple of years ago. We stayed at a hotel that wasn't far from a Cold Stone, and on the walk back from the park, you know, I don't think my kids had even had it yet, and they're like 10 years old. And I was like, you guys ever had Cold Stone?
It's like the Benihana of ice cream. They're like flipping it all and cutting it in front of you.
On the little like Cold Stone. So,
oh my God, that's what Cold Stone means. They do it they make the ice cream on a cold stone.
Oh
my God. I never put that together.
Oh my God. Wow.
Well, that's a great name, as it turns out.
I mean, it's very on the nose. But we're walking by it in Disneyland, and it's like kind of like a nice evening where I think it's like 8 o'clock at night, but it was in the summer, so it was like still like plenty of daylight, but the sun's coming down. And I look over at it, and I'm like, oh, I want to go to Cold Stone. And I look at the kids, and they're like, you guys want to go to Cold Stone? They're like, what's Cold Stone? And I was like, well, about the best ice cream you can. Yeah, I was like, about the best ice cream you can have. And that's my fault because I didn't take them there.
That's bad parenting.
So we go in there, and like, oh my God, like there's so much flavor. There's so many, and I'm like, here, try this. I don't remember exactly what I got them, but they just loved it. And that was the first night we were there. We were there 4 nights, and so we went every night. And that now
Cold Stone every night.
Yeah, I think I had a different one every night, and one was like a salted caramel. The first one was like a salted caramel. The second one was like a birthday cake remix, and then another just like kind of random concoction of like ice cream, and I like marshmallows and caramel and chocolate syrup in it or something like that, and some chocolate chips or something like that. But it was just so good, and I can't wait to since we started talking about that like a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh man, that's now on my radar. It's in my crosshairs.
Yeah, that's the next episode.
Yes,
we're gonna be reviewing some cream.
Yeah, cream, baby.
The kings of cream.
King of cream.
You got Jell-O on deck?
Jell-O's on deck. Yes. We went to Winco. I got the Ready Whip. We're doing it.
All right. We out.